We are live. Yeah, if anyone knows me, they know what that means. But yeah, good morning, and I'm here with another podcast again, kind of early in a cold morning in Ireland. I'd just like to thank everybody that kind of gave me feedback and good feedback and active criticism and all. With my podcast yesterday, the two I uploaded, it was a bit of a rocky start, but I know I'm glad everyone enjoyed it. It's kind of onwards and upwards here because I'm a bit more relaxed and in control of how I'm feeling now with all this kind of talking from a mic. It's all a bit new to me. I think it's a bit new to you as well. But no, today I'm going to talk about uh, self therapy. Essentially, kind of might go off a bit of a tangent as I always do because that's just me. I kind of say whatever I want to say, but yeah, because I don't really have a structure to these podcasts, so I just kind of go with the flow. Which I probably shouldn't, to be honest. I should probably be more organized, but I never really was an organized person. I kind of just say fuck and just go from there. But I'm going to talk about influence and how our actions and behaviors are influenced, like how our environment dictates our performance, and how there's like a huge number of scientific studies to support this. Like I think I've said before in one of my first posts on my other page that you were the average of the five people you spend your most time with, but like how much of that is like really true? Like why is it true and how is it true and how important it is to consider your environment and the people you're hanging around with in terms of who you are and how successful you'll be. And when I've been asked this before in like how do you determine if someone's a good or bad influence and how do you deal with it? And like before I get to the more scientific or technical or whatever kind of side of things, I just want to say that it's really not an easy question to answer because I mean you can be very anal about it per se, but like you can be, you can be like very blunt and you can like cut someone off as soon as like you read any sort of negativity or bad vibes off them, which I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, while that might benefit you in the short term, like in the long term, it might be, might be considered a sociopathic thing, just being able to completely remove people out of your life because they don't give you value or positive energy. But there are going to be people that you love and people that you care about, and you're not going to be able to cut them out because they mean the world to you. Like, they might have, let's say, bad habits or negative traits, but what should you do in that situation? And like literally, I would say give time to some people wisely. Like be really careful who you're friends with and who you're giving your time to, because you're going to be like with your circle of friends. Like you'll notice after a while, you're like the more you hang around with someone, the more you're going to be like them. So if you're like friends with a bunch of people you don't like and you hang around with them loads, you're more than likely going to end up like them. And that doesn't mean like if you have a friend that is a bit lazy or has bad traits doesn't mean you have to cut them out entirely. But it means like maybe you should like go out and fill your time and fill your influences with even better people, and slowly you'll kind of gravitate towards then kind of new people and kind of keeping your distance away from the people that kind of bring you down. But I'm not saying like don't cut people out like completely unless they're really horrible to you or nasty. No, I'm not saying that at all. But like I say, I do suggest filling up your time with more positive people and influences who will benefit you and change your life. Like, sure, like I do have loads of friends who have traits that I don't want, and I have friends with traits that I do want to acquire. But it's very rare that somebody has it all, like has all the good traits there, where I want every single one of their traits. Like it's just human nature. Like we all are different as people. But sorry, I'm kind of rambling on a bit as I did warn you I was going to go on a bit of a tangent, but a clear cut answer to the question at hand, it really involves picking and choosing in the sense of what this person means to you, what do they mean to you as a person. They might be they could be the most selfless, most helpful, most nicest person in the world, but they could also have terrible habits themselves. Like, is a person like that like going to add more to your life, or are they going to be taking more, and ruining kind of more of your experiences of life? Like, take for example, if you start a business with them where you rely on them to manage your income, or you put all your income with that person. Like, are they going to be taking more away, or are they going to be adding more? But if you're just friends with them and saw them occasionally, like, then sure, yeah, they're going to like bring some benefit and good traits to you. But like, would you be able to, like, it's just basically thinking about what does this person bring and take away from you? That's kind of the main task here. Like, if you meet someone, are they going to be bringing out the best of you, or are they going to bring it out a bad side of you? So it's all about perspective, really. Um, body language is another kind of not ignored, it's underlooked kind of subject that we're kind of getting into as well. And hopefully I'll do another podcast on that one day. But it's kind of all about body language, seeing how another person acts around other people, because it does kind of rub off after a while. Like, you do notice, you do notice, like, say, people who were raised in a bad household, like how they are a lot like their parents. Or if you see like a group of teenagers who are like kind of rough, like you see like one guy might be good, might even had his head screwed on beforehand, but just kind of the environment he was in, and like the other people, kind of different personalities rubbing off him, will kind of transform him in a way. You've probably seen it yourself, like, as we've all grown up, you see how people change. It's just how life goes, really. But I'd say if you are with someone, though, that you don't like, or you're trying to distance yourself away of, but you don't want to completely cut them off, I'd recommend a few things, like, such as, say, if you live with someone that you don't like, or if you're in work, if you're working with someone that's irritating, like, thankfully I don't suffer any of these issues, but I'd say the first thing would be to try to distance yourself away. Like, if you're living with someone, especially, like, by getting up earlier and being busy if you're living with people, because by getting up earlier, you're going to be on your own little ecosystem, and the morning is an incredibly good time to go about your day. It's a time for, like, the go-getters, the people who want to succeed, the people who want to go and, like, smash life. It's like it's for people who want to go out and win. And by meeting new people, another thing I would recommend is, by meeting new people, you need to, like, try new things, like, to get yourself away from this bad energy and bad negativity. You need to kind of go out, step outside your comfort zone, go out and meet new people, try new things. I know I've discussed it before, but trying new things will ultimately, like, change your way of thinking. And putting yourself out there, just taking opportunities, putting yourself out there, it's really going to benefit you when it's coming to a new social kind of bubble. But sorry, hold on, I just have a few kind of scribbles written there. Don't mind me. But yeah, what do I have here now? So environments and people change as we're all headed in a different direction, but that's simply human nature. Like, especially for me, because I'm definitely a lot more weirder now these days, where, in the sense where I've, like, a lot more interested in expanding my knowledge, expanding my mind, and expanding who I really am as a person. But, like, I'm really focused on growing and thinking about the impact I have on other people, and want to do these huge things, and really want to act and improve on myself. But a lot of people might not agree with that, and that's perfectly, like, they probably think I'm crazy and a lunatic, and might not share the same priorities as me, but that's perfectly okay. Like, it's not really a bad thing. Like, it's just this, both of us have different priorities and interests, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna, like, sure, we'll probably, like, drift apart, but it's not gonna be no animosity or hatred there. It's just, I'm like, certainly not throwing our nose up at each other. It's just kind of the way things are, I guess. But, like, if they're doing something different, more power to it. Like, they probably enjoy it much more than I'm enjoying doing this, or trying to better myself. It's just kind of put things to perspective. Like, who wants something more? It's just different things. But tying into trying new things. Like, I last year tried. I really got into rock climbing, believe it or not, like, or bouldering, should I say? And it's funny, because bouldering, it kind of makes you feel alive, because you're kind of climbing up. Like, I'm afraid of heights, and you're climbing up so high, and there's, like, different grade systems to it as well. And when you're, like, getting better and better, like, you feel so much good about yourself. And then when you're going up high, and that feeling, like, when you just, like, jump down off the wall after, it's just kind of, it's just mad how much of a dopamine spike you get. But what I like as well is that um like the people you meet from it, it's a very approachable community in the sense that like we all share a common interest, and it's kind of like all a very positive, energized environment. I don't know what it is about Boulder. I don't know if that's just like the ones I go to, or is it in general. But it's not every time I go there, there's always kind of someone that's. It's always a very open community where there's no one really kind of by themselves in a way. They're always just talking. They share this kind of energy, and it's kind of like it's really admirable. Really, like I would have been afraid of people approaching me like last year, 2019, but now I'm kind of more open to it. I kind of welcome people to come up to me, or I'm not afraid to ask people about advice or how to get better, because like we're kind of all learning off each other. It's like it also ties into like who you're hanging around with. Like say if you like how adapting to our environment. Like if I went to, let's say Boulder or rock climbing, for example. Say if I went to rock climbing with 5 people who didn't know what they were doing, I'm more likely not going to get any better. But if I went rock climbing with 5 other people that were much better than me, I'm going to get better because I am kind of readapting to my environment. I know that like it's like survival of the fittest kind of thing, where it's like your body's just kind of. I don't know what the study's from actually. I remember reading it in a book once or hearing it in a book, but essentially you're kind of. It's like when you're in a business with someone and you're in a project with 5 people. Like if you're on a with 5 people who don't know what you're doing, you're not going to develop or learn more. But if you're with like 5 really experienced people who are on the ball, they're like go go go. Like you're going to be you're obviously going to benefit. You're going to learn a lot more. You're going to be a lot smarter. It's going to stand to you in the long run. It's like if you ever see people in prison, like all the men, like they're jacked and they're like on shitty diets and they're not on any sort of, not that I know, they're not on any sort of PEDs or anything like that, but you can tell they're big muscle heads. Like they're really like, and I think that's just, I don't know if I'm just crazy saying this, but I think it's just like when people go in there, I think they have to adapt to their environment. Like they're in a new environment, and that's why all these people are like big and they're kind of the personalities change, because it's just all surrounding yourself with your different ecosystem and environment. But I don't know, like, and then with rock climbing as well, and it kind of attracts that kind of demographic where people are adventurous, outgoing, and this acts like a filter to attract people who are doing really well, like positive go-getters, because they have the drive and ambition to do these crazy things. It's a bit like skydiving as well. Like skydiving is very exhilarating. You'd meet a load of people from there, because like a lot, like skydiving is really expensive, like because you're more likely to meet successful people in skydiving because it's such an expensive sport activity. Let's say, yeah, it's such an expensive activity to do. So if you're going skydiving and meeting all these new different people, like it's more power to you, because you're expanding your network and expanding your social bubble, let's say. So this is why it's advisable. Also, another point I had written down, it's advisable to go traveling on your own, because it's scary and you're in this fear factor. But once you do it, you realize you want it. Once you do it and you get home, you realize you want to do it again, because you're on your own and you have to adapt to your own environment, and it kind of forces you to meet new people and step outside your comfort zone, make friends. And basically, it's an adventure. Like it's not adventure, not adventure, adventure. Sorry. But yeah, like in terms of getting more influence into your life, it's just about seizing the opportunity and not by any means cutting people out. But if people drift out of your life, like let it happen. See what people add to your life, so they're overall giving more or taking more from your life. Like some of my close friends, like sure they've good traits, but I like to acquire. Seeing like I want to see I want to get my friends good traits, but seeing good in them and they help me out. But the people really close to me, I just want to see them do well, and I'll do everything I can to make them do well, because them doing well makes me happy and like it brings me joy. But it's probably better than me doing well, because it reflects the good choice in relationships that you've chosen. So seeing people doing well and seeing people doing bad, it kind of just reflects like what your decision making skills are like, which obviously you'll get a clear indicator, depends of your surroundings. Uh, but by putting this perspective of when you give nothing, when you give and expect nothing in return, you just want to and you just want people to do well. You want to improve people's lives, and you want to make the world a better place, essentially. But you give selflessly, it's going to ultimately give back to you. Like if you give like selflessly all the time, and you're helpful, and you're giving, and you're loving, etc., etc., it's going to like ultimately give back to you. But it's not the reason you give. You give because it feels good to give. So by giving, you're going to be opened up to receiving, and you got to receive in order to give. That was a bit of a tongue twister there. Sorry, sorry if I kind of boggled your mind there. That was a bit hard for me to kind of come out with. But analogy I like to use for this is like, it's like the environment, it's like the world. It's kind of like the flora and the fauna. Let's say it's like the flora. We the flora breathes in carbon dioxide and breathes out oxygen, and we breathe in carbon dioxide. No, sorry, I've completely fucked this up, haven't I? Yeah, sorry. All right, yeah. So the flora, we breathe in. Geez, why am I? Yeah, we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide, and the trees breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen. So it's like a cycle, like symbiosis in nature, or the foundational life on Earth, with the flora and the fauna both taking in carbon dioxide and oxygen. But the same thing with giving and receiving, really. Like by giving, you are opening yourself up to receiving, and people are going to be more inclined to help you out, and you're going to like meet people that are going to want to give because it feels good to give. Like if you ever notice on, like, say your birthday, like, yeah, your birthdays are nice and all, but back in the day, as a child, all you wanted to do was just receive everything and take everything. You didn't really care about giving all that much. But then as you get older, like you become more empathetic and mindful, and you kind of see how giving presents like makes other people happy. It's like these days, I don't know about you, but I feel awkward receiving presents these days. Like obviously, sure, I do enjoy them still. It's pretty cool celebrating like your day of birth or on Christmas and all. I do find it very awkward receiving gifts. Like I much prefer to give them because I kind of like to see people's reactions. Like I think even just kind of making a person feel better just makes my day better. I don't know what it is. It's kind of weird. I don't know why I'm like that, but I think a lot of people are like that as well. I think I remember people saying that they much prefer to give presents rather than receive them, which I do agree with. I much prefer receiving them myself, or not receiving, giving them, just because, like you did right, you changed someone's life, and you know that you've positively influenced someone. Like you've shown some good traits, etc., etc. But like I truly do believe if you live a life in abundance and just to give to people is ultimately going to come back and possibly impact you. Like, and that shouldn't be the reason you do it. You should do it because it's a great thing and because it feels good to give. It's like the older you get, the more you appreciate it. Like I think I'm kind of repeating myself here, but we rather like us as adult humans, like we rather give and bring joy to other people. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I had a few things written down here, but I don't want to waffle on too much because I don't really much structure or anything. Let's kind of just go with the flow. But yeah, I'll keep this small. I won't go on too much about. I won't ramble on too much longer. But thanks though for all the feedback. I actually really appreciate it because kind of not that it influenced my decision to make them, but kind of does give me a bit more motivation to not motivate. It gives me a bit more discipline to kind of get going and kind of truck on with this thing because kind of all things in life you kind of have to try them and see whether you like them or not. And like the only thing that's kind of stops us is fear and our ego holding us back. But no, like kind of it's going well, so I'm going to keep going with it anyway. But yeah, I'll upload this today, the 8th of January, and yeah, I'll truck on from there. All right, thanks. Have a good morning. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye bye.